Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about SERB-POWER scheme. So the idea behind this scheme is how the women could be inducted into the STEM, which is your science, technical, engineering and mathematics. This stream, how the women could be inducted. So SERB-POWER scheme has been launched with that concept. In fact, last year itself there was a report that there is a huge gender disparity in terms of the women going ahead and taking engineering or mathematics as a subject for their graduation. So because of it, this scheme is trying to curb that gender disparity. Now let's try to understand what are the features of this scheme and what are, so basically this will include two fellowship. What are those target, what is the benefit which the women could avail under it. We will discuss about them in detail over here. So recently the Union Minister for Science and Technology has launched SERB-POWER, which is promoting opportunity for women in exploratory research. So you have to remember that this particular power scheme is talking about getting the women into the exploratory research field, which has two components of fellowship and research grant. What are these fellowship all about and what kind of research grant the women would get? We will discuss that about in the upcoming slides. The Science and Engineering SERB, which is like the one which initiated this project, is actually a statutory body of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. So SERB function directly under the Department of Science and Technology and it is a statutory body. This particular scheme is designed exclusively for women. You have to remember that this is only for women to mitigate gender disparity in science and engineering research in various science and technology programs in Indian academic institution and R&D laboratories. So in order to encourage women to come into the side of science and engineering, this particular scheme has been envisioned. It will serve as a benchmark of recognition in the national scenario and will empower women scientists and cultivate a women-friendly culture and ensure more women in leadership position in decision-making bodies. So this is the whole idea. We have to understand the women empowerment is not something which could come from the top down, but it need to be done at the level when the women are going into the education. So if they get into the field of engineering and science, they would be exposed to the exploratory research, the more ideas, and then they will be also into the decision making bodies. So that is the whole idea, that this will also serve as a benchmark that how women should be empowered in such fields. Now let's try to understand the two components. So the first one is actually the fellowship, which is, let's discuss the few details about it. So it will target the women researchers in 35 to 55 years of age, up to 25 fellowships per year. So this is the limit, that at least 25 per year fellowship would be given, but there is a cap that at any given point of time it should not be more than 75. So not more than 75 scholarship would be provided at a one point of time. What are the components of support? So here the fellowship of rupees 15,000 per month would be provided in addition to regular income. So whatever the regular income as a means of researcher is, apart from that 15,000 will be provided as a scholarship per month. Research grant of rupees 10 lakh per annum. So a research grant, one-time grant of rupees 10 lakh per annum would also be provided under it, and an overhead of rupees 90,000 per annum. So while doing research, if you come across that you would need to buy some equipments and any other kind of expenses which you incur, so an overhead of rupees 90,000 per annum is also included in the fellowship. What is the duration? Now it is valid for 3 years without the possibility of extension. So the women who are getting the fellowship over here, they would have to complete that fellowship in 3 years, and this could only be availed once in a career. So if for any reason you have to drop out or you could not complete your fellowship program, there is no chance of you to availing it. Or if you have availed it once in your career, for pursuing any other kind of research, you will not be granted the SERB-POWER Fellowship. So it is once in a lifetime 3 years duration fellowship program which would be provided for the women. Now there is another component for it, which is the research grant. Under this, there is also two categories up to 50 power grants. Level 1 up to 60 lakhs for 3 years, like for 3 years in a duration, 60 lakhs would be provided for applicants. Now this particular thing is actually included only for certain institutions, which is like your IITs, IISRs, IISc, NITs, central universities and National Lab of Central Government Institution. So for 3 years, 60 lakhs could be availed by the women who have completed their graduation from these institutions. Then there is a level 2 which talks that 60 lakhs for 3 years for applicants from state university colleges and private academic institution. So from state universities, the applicants could get up to 30 lakh for 3 years. So this is the two level of funding which is envisioned under this scheme. Grants will be regulated through terms of reference conforming to SERB core research grant guidelines. So these guidelines are provided by the SERB, and the terms of reference for the SERB-POWER research grant is also accordingly set up for using the core research grant guidelines. So this is the whole two components of the SERB-POWER scheme, which has recently been launched by the Department of Science and Technology, and it will be implemented by SERB, which is a statutory body under it. Now also try to see some other initiatives. So this is not the first scheme which has come up in order to push women in the field of engineering and science, so they could like feel empowered in such fields also, but there has been few other initiatives. For an example, there is Vigyan Jyoti scheme, which was also launched by Department of Science and Technology. It aims to create a level playing field for meritorious girls in high school to pursue science, technology, engineering and mathematics, which is the STEM field. So it's the whole idea of Vigyan Jyoti scheme is that they should not be like in a race, they should not be left behind. So empowering them, the meritorious girl in the high school itself, so that moving ahead in their career they could get into the STEM streams. So this is Vigyan Jyoti scheme. Another scheme is what is Gati, which is like the abbreviation is Gati. The scheme name is Gender Advancement for Transforming Institution scheme. This scheme will develop a comprehensive charter and a framework for accessing gender equality in STEM. So the whole idea of having a charter along with you, so in order to access what is the gender equality in the stream of STEM. Then we have the another scheme by the name of Kiran, which is your knowledge involvement in research advancement through nurturing scheme. This is also started by Department of Science and Technology. It aims to bring gender parity in science and tech sector by including more women talent in the R&D domain. So Kiran is focused on R&D, Gati is more about accessing the gender equality, Vigyan Jyoti is providing a kind of a empowerment to the meritorious girls who are in high school so they can go ahead and pursue their studies in STEM stream. And recently now we have SERB-POWER scheme. So these are the few schemes which are started by the government to empower women by including them or inducting them into the STEM streams as well. So when you are writing your mains answer for an example, even in the essay, if the idea is women empowerment, try to include these examples as well over there, that not only empowerment in terms of political and economical, in educational also, the professional courses which has become very profitable for people for the main economic line over here, so how they could pursue it, we need to empower the women in those regard also. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.